CCM Discovery. Now, this is your go-to spot for uncovering today's freshest voices in Christian music, inspiring authors, comedians, the movers and shakers that are shaping the industry that we love. Now, we'll also be rediscovering the classic artists who built the foundation of contemporary Christian music as we know it today. I get to be your host. I'm the lucky one, Roger St. James, and I'm here to guide you through the stories, sounds, and the people behind the music that you and I love. Now, whether you're a longtime fan or just starting your journey, get ready to dive deep into the hearts, spirit, and inspirational voices of contemporary Christian music. So let's discover together. Please help me welcome Grace Graber.
Woo!
Hi, Grace.
Hi.
It is so good to see you. I wanted to play that clip because it's very short, but it in my stalking / research of getting ready to do this show, that to me kind of summed up what your music is. You gave your quick story there, which we'll get into, of course. But the look of joy on that young lady's face while you had her on the stage, that was just so cool.
Yeah, well, that was me when I was 12. That was me with old Christian rock bands who, like Hawk Nelson brought me on stage when I was a teenager, and it changed. Obviously, it changed my life. It sparked something in me that told me that I could do it. And even today, like I look at that and I see how God is still faithfully like I still feel like that little girl some days. Like I have so many people I grew up listening to in my life today that like I see myself, and I was watching that video and I was just thinking like I still feel like that little girl, and I get to just follow in the footsteps of all of my favorite people growing up. And I see that and I think I am the luckiest ever because I get to be sandwiched in between that moment.
It was, like I said, the look on her face was just absolutely.
Yeah.
She's never, like you just said, you never forgot when Hawk Nelson pulled you up on stage, and she's never going to forget when Grace Graber pulled her up on stage.
I hope so, because I pull a lot of girls on stage, and so like I hope it's not like something where it's like, oh, like like to me, when I play shows and when I do this, like I'm really thinking about baby Grace most of the time, like my younger self. And so like moments like that are just really me honoring my inner child. So I hope I changed her life, because man, the security guards were looking quite suspiciously at me when I was like, I want her on stage now. It's like, but hey, it's not a punk rock show if you're not breaking rules, right?
Oh no, and you showed her that she matters.
Yeah.
And that was just such a great thing.
Now
we're gonna, of course, we're gonna get into the stories, but I like to start off here. Is there anybody you want to brag about at this particular time? Perhaps your Dolly Parton husband.
Oh my gosh, you really did do a deep dive. Oh my gosh, he is gonna love that you called him that. Oh, my Dolly Parton husband. Oh my gosh. Yeah, man, we've been married for 10 years now. We celebrate our 10-year anniversary next week. And yeah, I would not be able to do it without him. He pays the bills, and I spend money on putting songs out and making fun little videos of me dancing around. So I'd love to brag on him. I could brag on him all day. So
we've got all day. We have no rules here. So.
Well, I have a bedtime, so
that's fair enough. So one of the things that I was in Christian radio back in the 80s and 90s, what they call the golden age. And the thing that I loved about it then is the artists had their individual sounds. And that's how I found you. You have a sound. I mean, it's called it's referred to as punk pop. I refer to it as Grace Graber. But
Yeah, yeah.
you know, what brought you to that style of music? I mean, I know it's similar to Hawk Nelson, but what brought you to this particular way you like to do it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, somebody described it as Grace Graber punk the other day. Like
Oh, I like that.
it's not punk and it's not pop punk and it's not pop, it's Grace Graber punk. I think yeah, I don't know who was describing it, but they were like Grace like it's a whole it's its own genre, but no, I mean if you actually listen closely, it sounds like Stellar Cart one song and then Hawk Nelson another and then some sort of like Flyleaf song the next. I mean, it's just the music that shaped me. And I don't when I go into a writing room and when I'm writing a song, I'm not really thinking about a result at all. I'm just letting the song be the song. I mean, you can't really like if you try to control it, that's where you go wrong. So I feel like it's just my brain from the trauma of my childhood memorized these songs as a coping mechanism and now they're just like pumping them out but like yeah no if you really listen closely to like even the punk covers that I'm doing right now it's just Stellar Cart just a female voice on top of it but I love it because like that is what I danced around in my bedroom and wanted to do one day. And it's absolutely bizarre that I get to dance around on a stage and like sing along to songs and I don't know like I'm just so grateful that I have a team of like my producer Blake Cross. He's a huge part of why I do what I do nowadays because he has allowed me the freedom to create like that. And when you have a team of people who just like get you and like to be able to say like, oh yeah, once my guitar player puts guitars on that song, it's gonna sound like a Grace Graber song. It's like it's a cocktail of like not only me but also the guys in the background who have
Yeah.
crafted their own sounds with their guitars, their drums, you name it. Like it's all of them too. So I think Grace Graber is special because it's a bunch of kids who grew up listening to the same music and like we don't really care we're just having fun, you know?
Yeah.
So it'll sound Flyleaf one moment and it'll sound, you know, super pop the next moment. And I take a lot of comfort in knowing I have freedom and the space in the music industry to create heavier songs and more pop songs as well. And people just slap the name Grace Graber on it. And it honestly, that's iconic. So I love it.
Oh no, it's fantastic, and a lot of times this is the part of the interview where we ask, "Well, how did you get your start?" But
Yeah.
in your case, we actually,
Tell
Eric and
me.
I were actually able to
Yeah,
find
tell me
out a
how I
little
got
bit of
my
something.
start.
Yeah, so Eric, do you have a little something for us here?
Oh no. Oh, oh my god, we got that. We're
It's
good.
almost done. There we go. We weren't going to play 5 minutes of it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, don't get me started on how that was 5 minutes. The competition was I had to sing every upgrade that Hand and Stone offered. And so the only way I was going to do it, because everyone else was rapping, the only way I was going to do it was by making the song 5 minutes. And I wanted to qualify. Anyways, so yeah.
No,
Oh,
that started it all, Grace. It's awesome.
oh my goodness. No one's ever brought that up in an interview. That is wild. Yeah. Y'all really did your work. Okay, what else? What else? What else am I expecting now?
No, no, that's it. That's it. It's just I mean, what I love about it is it's so creative, and it just shows that you are able to take a list of a menu from a salon and make it a song that actually won. That's what I want to talk about. It won the contest.
It did. It did. It won this songwriting contest for the company that I work for. And it was absolutely bizarre because I had always grieved ever having a music career. I went to a Bible college. I auditioned for the worship team. I never made it. I was told I'd never make it by people in college. And then I was in a car accident when me and TJ got married. And so I had my neck was sprained. And so I lost my ability to really be creative and like play the guitar for a long time. And so my husband like brought up the idea of going to beauty school as like a way for us to like get back on our feet after the car accident. And um when I started beauty school, I felt like the Lord told me, "Hey, I'm establishing this career so you can pursue music." And like I mean, think of something as bizarre as a spa. You know, I'm starting my career doing facials for a living, and the Lord is saying, "Hey, don't give up on this dream yet." Um, Absolutely bizarre. And yeah, now to think about it, it's like, oh no, he was right because like a couple months later, the songwriting contest came out, and I wasn't gonna enter it, but there was just like one night where I couldn't sleep, and I was like, I am gonna regret ever doing that. And boy, would I have because yeah, I mean, I think about that with a lot of things. It's a lot of providence that the Lord
Yeah.
has done in my
Oh
life
yeah.
where it's like if I wouldn't have married my husband, my name wouldn't be as cute as it is, you know? Like it's just like stuff like that where it's like the Lord really orchestrated. And when you feel that on your heart, the Lord just prompting, taking that chance is completely worth it because I am now here doing what my heroes did. And I never thought no one ever thinks like a spa could do that, you know? Like,
No, no, it's just, and that's what the thing that I get so excited about talking to artists like yourself is we call it the hand on your shoulder, God's hand on your shoulder.
yeah.
You
Hmm.
don't see it at the time, but after when you can step back and you can see that He put you in where you needed to be, but it was still up to you, Grace. It was up to you to listen,
Yeah.
and it was up to you to put the work in.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's something I think about a lot because I give a lot of credit to my heroes on a lot of things. But like my band always reminds me, they're like, Grace, I know, like, you know, you give a lot of credit to Hawk Nelson and all your heroes, but like you did all
You're doing
this.
it.
Yeah, yeah, like you did all this, and that's something like even like John from Hawk, you know, he has told me that like, you know, you do realize like you did this. Like
Yeah.
it's not us. Like you don't owe us anything. And yeah, I feel I don't know. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I did
it's
it.
yeah, you answered the call, Grace, and that's all we
Ring
can
ring
hope to
ring.
do.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you've mentioned Hawk Nelson several times. So let's
Yeah.
let's dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, no,
Um,
our SEOs are practically combined now. If you, you know, like yeah.
so and we'll also talk more about a lot of your mission is to helping kids who have been bullied and suffering mental health issues, and it started with you. You experienced that yourself,
Mhm.
and so it happened when you were around 12, and that it was after that you discovered Hawk Nelson and Take Me.
Mhm.
So I don't want to tell the story. That's your story to
Yeah, no,
tell.
I mean, I was like, yeah, keep going. Yeah, I the first interview where someone's like answering the questions for me. Yeah, no, yeah. When I was 12 years old, I was physically and verbally assaulted by other teenage girls in middle school. And it got so bad that my parents had to take me out. And I eventually was homeschooled because it was unsafe for me to go anywhere locally. So, yeah, I became suicidal after that experience of being bullied, not only like verbally but physically is a much different scale, and it does a number to your brain. So I did not want to live anymore, and I felt like, man, it would be better off if I wasn't here. But it was the night that I was thinking about taking my own life, and I was planning on getting up and doing it, and it just felt like chaos. Like honestly, uh, it felt like chaos, and I screamed out to God, and I was like, "Do something!" Like okay, help me. And I grew up in the church. I'm a pastor's kid, so I've always known who God is, but I had never had like that moment where it was like, Lord, I need you now. And instead of getting up to take my own life, I just like sang myself to sleep that night. Like that, this song just got stuck in my head, and I was just like sobbing, and it got stuck in my head, and it told me that I wasn't alone. And yeah, I didn't really know what song it was until I woke up. What song is this? That was crazy. What happened? And I discovered it was by a band called Hawk Nelson, who I discovered at Revolve Tour. And I would listen to their records on top of like Family Force 5, Stellar Cart. Like I would listen to their records over and over and over again because it was like the place I felt safe. I remember being like in the school like principal's office after being assaulted, listening to like a Friend Like That by Hawk Nelson. Um, like they were my friends. Like I didn't have friends in middle school, and these guys just got me. And so when I was homeschooled, I spent most of my time just watching video blogs and just being a mega fan for these band guys and going to concerts. But that was the only place I felt safe. Like I could leave the house and feel safe is going to Christian rock concerts. And so my parents would just, they didn't know what to do. They just like took me to them. And it didn't matter what the genre was. That was where I felt safe and where I got ministered to. I would always ask my heroes, always ask these guys to pray for me every time. And these guys every time would pull me aside and they'd pray for me and they'd love on me. And so it's really cool now. I get to like, have coffee with these guys who prayed for me when I was like 12 and go, "Do you remember that?" And most of the time they're like, "Yeah, it was so bizarre and wild and you were really struggling." Like the like Hawk guys have mentioned, like they remember me, like they remember how much I was struggling. And you don't really think like, oh, one day that's going to come back and like do something. And for me, that's one of the reasons why I don't take what I do very lightly. I look at it as a matter of life or death for other people. Like, I don't care if you like my music or not because, like, a song saved my life and I know the power of music and I'm going to sing anyways
Yeah.
because for me if I don't, there's less opportunity for lives to be saved or people to feel related to. And so I have to for the rest of my life create content around that in order to reach this next generation of kids who are turning to social media for safety, are turning to social media to be seen and understood and heard. And so that's a lot of the reason why I keep such a high like presence online. That's a lot of the reasons why I don't care what I say in my songs. Is because to me it's like this would have saved my life as a teenager, and so if it falls in line with that, I'll do it.
That's what I really like about you and your ministry is that you were lucky enough to actually see God's grace in these artists.
I was a fan. I was a fan
Yeah.
first. Like that's the reality of all of it. Is like people don't really realize like I'm having the time of my life. I don't really care like what happens next because I just like I am in community with people I dreamed about being in community lit with. I am creating with people like I'm a fan first and I'm living the best fan experience ever. And so I think that's also what gives me a little bit of an advantage too is because I know what it feels like to be on the other side of the phone or the radio or whatever. I know what that feels like. And man, what a responsibility I have to replicate it again and again. And it's pretty thrilling. Yeah.
Well, and obviously by that video we posted at the beginning, you're doing it. That
Yeah.
you're reaching people that like you said, you are that person,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
now you get to minister to the one who needs you.
Mhm.
And you did come full circle. You ended up working with Jason
Mhm.
on some stuff. So
Yeah, oh, yeah.
how I mean, we all have fans. It's like the first time this is going to age me. You might not even know who I'm talking about, but the
Okay.
first time I interviewed Captain Kangaroo.
Don't know who that
He,
is.
he
Okay.
was a huge kids television star in the 80s.
Okay.
He was on CBS television for like 30 years. And the first time I got to interview him, I was like, "Oh my god, this is Captain Kangaroo!" You know? And he actually was gracious enough to understand I needed to get past that. And then we had a fantastic conversation, and I talked to him a couple of times after that. So, what was it like for you to sit down with the guys from Hawk Nelson?
Well, here's the thing is I didn't meet Jason until about 2 years after that song release. Like I met him online, we did interviews together. And we also did like a music video remote. Um so I mean when we first got like the email that yes, Jason's like, yeah, whatever she wants, like let's do it. It was like me and Blake were this is like this is a big deal for me. This is awesome. And then when you get the vocals in, we got the vocals in, and I actually have footage that's like somewhere on my computer of me like listening to the vocals for the first time, and I'm just screaming. I'm just like, I can't, like, this is crazy. That like it just sounded like my childhood. And then to go as far as like, hey, what if we got someone, like, could you find someone to film to be in a music video, like to do that and coordinate that? It was really cool to like create with him, and like bounce some ideas off and just tell him my vision. And it was really really cool because he hadn't released music in a very long time, or like just a few years. He hadn't like really done, he'd been kind of quiet. So it was really cool for him to be like, yeah, whatever you want, like let's do it. And then to like later like see, oh my gosh, like he's now like touring again, and it's just like absolutely bizarre. I don't think I have anything to do with that, but if I did, that's insane. Like that's insane that like we did a song together and now he's back and he's doing his thing and he's reaching people that I, as a fan of him, know how deeply these people love him. So now to be like an equal in a sense is really weird, like really good, really weird. I think I will say probably the most like, oh my gosh, nervous moment was actually meeting John for me. When I first met John, I wanted to get his blessing because I wasn't about to like, he moved to Nashville again. And I wasn't about to be in town and like, Hawk Nelson girl. And he's, who knows if anyone brings me up to him, but I didn't want to be like this, like, oh, hey, this elephant in the room. So getting to know him and in an equal level, like as a friend, like that has been weird and surreal and awesome. I love him. Um, and just like I met like when Justin, they're one of their old drummers, like when I first moved to town, and Squid from Hawk Nelson, he actually plays drums for me now, and he's like my brother. I can call him up and anytime and he'll pick up, and just like Dan supporting me because they weren't gonna do a 20th anniversary release. And I was like, so can I do it? And so because me and Jason had just released our song and about a year before. And so like Jason always said, like, whatever you need, just hit me up. And I was like, are you going to do anything for the 20th anniversary? And he was like, no, you do whatever you want, you have my blessing. And then Dan, I messaged him and was like, I would really like to honor you guys. And then for him to then, support me, and they posted about it, and it was just bizarre. It was just wild. Like for yeah, that was bizarre, and it's cool. Like he keeps up with they all keep up with me online, but I don't know. It's really I feel like I'm a part of a family now with them. Like I feel like I'm a part. I know I'm the next generation of that like
Mhm.
band, and so there is like it's like I feel like once like things started happening, like I feel like I gained a bunch of brothers, and it's really cool. I still I geek out about things, but like also not really anymore because like I am now like in the room with like really cool people that they're my friends, like oh yeah, you've got like a movie coming out next month, like oh you're my friend. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like now I I don't even notice anymore in a sense. Like I'm aware, but for me like just deep relationship matters the most. So the fact that I have the ability now to like hit up any of the Hawk Nelson guys and it's not like a surprise or weird or anything is like I'm not like the crazy fangirl anymore. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is they don't look at me like that anymore, I hope. And now I can kind of create knowing that that has come full circle and I can now get on with the mission. So yeah, it's really I love all those guys. I have like literally I have the best heroes because like all of them are solid. They are kind. They've got good integrity. They are honest and I jokingly like I think I joked to I think John I was like, "Man, how dare I have such awesome heroes that like motivated me and made me like who I am today. How dare they encourage me to be myself like because this is a lot. So yeah.
No, it's great because they built the foundation that you're standing on.
Yeah.
And I mean, and like you said earlier, and they've said to you, you did the work. You're a two-time winner from the We Love Christian Music Awards.
Yeah.
And Grace did that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they loved your 2022 next big thing. And then of course they nominated your 2025 pop album of the year for Breakthrough.
They sure did. Yeah. That and then like I think I just hit like I hit my first charts like last week. We hit our first radio charts. Like I got number 11 on Christian rock
Awesome.
songs, which is bizarre. And that was for a Capital Light song, which you want to talk about full circle again. They were like on my like childhood list of people to work with, and then out of all the things like this song like helps me like chart for the first time, and so the Capital Lights guys were like, this is odd, like it just I feel like the little sister where it's like it feels like they're seeing it happening for them too, like I
Yeah.
I feel so it's so cool.
Well,
So
it's
cool.
kind of like you're the fruits of their labors.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Well, their children are their fruits of their labors, but yeah.
You have a great quote. You said, "You want to be here for the misfits."
Hmm.
Um, eh, dive into that a little bit for me because I love it because that's one thing that I really like about artists like yourself is that you've found a way to use social media that can be used for so many horrible things, but you've found a way to use it for so much good. I mean, your videos, your clips, your Instagram, they're fun and they're full of joy and hope and faith. And,
Hmm.
and so that's why I just love how you like to be here for the misfits, but you're
Yeah.
just doing so much great.
I was always the kid in the back of the room. I was always, I was always the odd one out, never did sports. Like I wrote songs. I loved my favorite rock bands. But that was it. Like actually like everyone in high school knew who Hawk Nelson was because they knew how obsessed I was. Like that's embarrassing. But cuz now I'm an adult woman, but it's just like for me I was a misfit, and so when I say I'm doing it for the misfits, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for baby Grace, for the child who was traumatized and the child that my adult self feels the need to protect. Because the reality is we all have a child self, our own inner child, that whether we believe it or not, we are actually coping and navigating the world. We're navigating and trying to protect our inner child. So I didn't realize that until I got into the music industry. And I'm wondering why some things are hitting me a lot harder than they would usually, because I'm someone who typically I don't really care. Like I'm kind of like focused on my own thing. And but then there were like some comments made or, oh, that happened. And I noticed myself like getting aggressive or like not understanding why I'm responding the way I am. And my therapist sat me down and I realized like everything I was doing was protecting baby Grace, protecting the version of me that was didn't feel like she had anyone protecting her. Didn't feel like that's what I've noticed in my adult years. So when I talk about that, I'm talking about the kid in the back of the room who won't be noticed or doesn't who doesn't feel like anybody's going to notice them. I think like for me, I'm not afraid to like grab that kid, like even at shows. Like if I see someone and they're back of the room or they look like like I'm the one who initiates the conversation because they're never going to. So it's like I do it for the misfit because they don't feel like they have a voice. And so if there's someone they feel like they can relate to that does have a voice, they then feel seen. They then feel understood. And if I could just leave a kid feeling like 1% more understood, I've like done my job.
And I love how open you are and honest you are with everybody, talking about
Oh yeah.
where you were, where you are. But how are you doing now? How are things
Good.
going for you?
Yeah, I mean my cat died in November, so that kind of
Oh,
sucked. Yeah. No, yeah. And we got two kittens, so you know, lemons in a lemonade, no pun intended. Yeah, no, like it was wild. Lemonade came out and then my cat died. So it was like, great, my viral moment. And like I'm grieving now. It was bizarre. So that was a really interesting time to navigate. And I had some like really exciting things that were happening that week too that I kind of had to be on for. So it was kind of really interesting to like get to know my self like through in grief. I not really had like a loss like that before. My cat was my daughter. My cat was my child.
oh,
So to like have to say goodbye to your kid, I can't imagine because that was a lot. Um but yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm really pumped for the new year and for like a lot of the things that we are working on. I may or may not be releasing two albums this year, which is
oh wow,
absolutely
that's a lot of work.
bizarre. I who knows? I you might check in with me in 6 months and I'm gonna be like, we pushed it to next year. But no, like so right before right before Thanksgiving, I was posting these punk covers kind of as a joke. I really like everyone always told me like you're not punk. Like they would always say that and I'd be like, "Man, I really just want to like I want to bridge that gap a little bit more. I want to get more in that sphere, sound more like my heroes a little bit more." So I got in the studio with Josiah Prince. And once we started writing songs,
Oh,
I told him about, yeah, he was in Philmont. Oh, love Philmont. I really wanted to work with him for that. My dad likes Disciple, but to be honest, it's fine. They always give me a hard time. But I love Josiah, and I told him my idea. I was like, I've always like had the idea of like turning popular like viral Christian songs punk and like just leaving it at that. Well, then we did that. He was like, I'm down. Like that sounds so much fun. And we actually like put it on the calendar and we did it. And then I was like, okay, I called up my content guy and was like I just want to film this series. I know it sounds kind of crazy because it's not for a release or anything. And he's like, let's do it. So we like rented out this room with checkered floor. It was like the coolest, like it grungiest place. But yeah, posted the first video and it got like 600,000 views like within a couple weeks. And we
I
kind of
love the
realized,
Mercy Me one. I love the Mercy Me one.
yeah, well, that one didn't do very well, but like I just my social media grew by over 20,000 followers within a month. And well, the day after Lemonade came out and it hit, because I joked and I said if it hits 100K, we'll pursue it. And we're like, sure, haha, like surely it won't. And then I called Josiah, like it's not even been 24 hours, and I said, if we hit 100K, what do we do? Like that was like such a surreal, like what? I don't think I okay, huh? And then so we talked about Lemonade, and then I was like, what do I do if they all do well? Because I financially fund all my own stuff, and I was saving up for an album that's coming out later this year called Sophomore Year. And I've been working on this album for like I've been talking about it for 2 years, in interviews and stuff. And I was like, sophomore year is supposed to happen, but what happened? Like people want this, and it's like and then even my label services like called me and were like, where is it? And it's like, well, so I hustled, the Lord provided. And then I went to a show, the Lord provided for Lemonade, and so I got Lemonade turned in. And then I was at a show in North Carolina, and I took this show was like super last minute, got up on stage and was like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but like these punk covers are doing really well. Everything in merch tonight goes towards that. And then someone pulled me aside after and said, how much do you need for that record? And I was like, oh, just this. Like usually when people say that, they give me like $100 or something. It's like, oh, thanks. I really appreciate it. But she was like, oh, that's it. Cut me a check for the entire album.
See.
So, Punk Goes Praise is coming out. I don't know exactly when we're like almost done with all the mixing, but there's gonna be like 6, 7 songs on this, and
That's
I would
amazing.
not. It was totally God. Like I like honestly, I was panicking. I was like, what am I gonna do? But what's even cooler is it made space for us to like polish up sophomore year even more so. So we're not trying to rush getting this second album out. We have time now to get it turned in by summer. And so yeah, no, punk, like the punk album, I can't call it Punk Goes anymore. Apparently that's trademarked. But like the punk album, yeah, it's coming, and
Oh,
the Lord
excellent.
allowed that to happen. I could not have done that. So I'm really glad he pulled through.
It's that's just so. And again, it's the story. I just love that story. It's just
Yeah,
like.
I know. Well, I haven't really told it like too much yet. I mean, because like we haven't really done too much press yet. I mean, the punk album was like it's supposed to come out like in a couple of months and stuff. So I really haven't done anything for it. Really, I've just been sitting waiting for them to get done.
Well, we do have a mutual friend. You were on his podcast. He's a good friend of mine. He wanted me to say hi to you, Aiden Grant from Songs That Changed
Awesome.
You. Yeah,
That's
he wanted me to say
awesome.
hi.
Oh, that's awesome.
He did tell me I was going to have a great time, and it's nice to know that my
Ah!
friend Aiden doesn't lie.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I'm a pretty fun time. I do so myself.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So before we wrap up, we have something here that we'd like to do. My oldest son is a legitimate hero. He's a fireman, and
Play.
my youngest son is profoundly autistic, Matthew.
Okay.
So what we do here, and for some reason, 9 seconds matters to him. So I always ask
Oh,
our
don't
our
time me.
guests.
Don't time. That's not gonna
No,
work.
no, 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 no. We just that's why we call it Matthew. It's on the screen right.
9-ish
Matthew's
seconds.
9-ish seconds. We just ask if you can just 9-ish seconds of wisdom that you want to throw out there.
Uh, your weakness is your greatest strength. There you go.
That's perfect. That was really good. I love that.
You put a timer on me, and I'm gonna freeze.
Oh
Like
no,
I
there's
would
no
always.
timer.
Oh my gosh, I would always fail tests like that. Mm-mm.
Well, you passed that one with flying colors because that says a lot.
Well, I'll hear from your son about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we jump into your song breakthrough here, I'm sure there's a story behind it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Breakthrough. I man, what is the story behind? I haven't been asked about Breakthrough in quite a while. We just did the Everything You Ever Wanted EP, and so um, Breakthrough is a fun one because I didn't really. People always joke they're like, "You're what you think this is your breakthrough song or breakthrough?" No, I don't think that. What I wanted to do was essentially tell my story um, in a song, like I try to do most of the time. But man, I'm trying to think about breakthrough and what like because really like you'll break. Okay. Yeah. Like, man, I'm botching this question. Can you edit this up? Oh my gosh.
There's no need.
Breakthrough.
There's no
Like,
worries.
yeah, breakthrough is special for me for a lot of reasons. I did not think it'd be like the breakthrough song or but it was a song that kind of summed up a season where I had just come out of doing the Conversations EP and finally felt confident again in talking about my mental health story because the Conversations EP came from me being re-diagnosed in 2020 with PTSD and depression, and I had thought I'd been like over that. And so after that, moving to Nashville, writing with people, I discovered, huh, maybe my greatest, like maybe God's greatest strength is my weakness. I mean, it says it in the Bible. And so I got really specific with what I wanted to do. I got really down to the nitty gritty, like, of, okay, I have been put on this earth to save more lives through music, like mine was saved. And so once I kind of like really got that mission under control, I then saw like a little bit of ounce of hope for myself every so often. And I think we think about our brokenness and we think, oh, let's make it whole again. And I use this analogy all the time, but it's like think of a disco ball, like it was once a mirror, but the reality is the mirror broke and you can't undo that. But what God can do is refashion it for something so much greater and so much more beautiful than we realize because it takes his light, just his light to shine on that and it reflects all over the place. And so breakthrough is I don't even think it's done for me, to be honest. Like I say in the bridge, it was in a song, it was in a melody, it was in the words, "You're not alone." And I look at it now as like almost like my past self, like continuing to tell me about how I will continue to experience breakthrough. I look at it as a cry to other people of like, if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. There's a lot of depth to break through that song and that album because it took a lot of like that was the work I was doing on myself, documented and put into songs. And so like if you notice the genres all over the place.
Hmm.
The topics all over the place. That's intentional because not every like disco ball or any like broken piece of glass is the same and the light's going to reflect into different spots. And so I took a lot of broken pieces, a lot of the brokenness that turned into songs, and I fashioned this album. and among it found what made me me, which was pop punk. You know, there's some pop punk in there. So while it's not like a fully punk album, I discovered myself in that album and in that song too. So yeah, it was originally supposed to be way more pop. Blake did all the guitars and all of the we I wrote it with my good friend Jonathan Gamble, and he really poured into me when I first moved into town. He's written Desperate, what, Counting My Blessings now. Like he's absolutely ridiculous. But but when I first moved to town, he like kind of took me under his wing a little bit and poured into me, and we wrote that song together at a writing camp. And I really 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 was praying for God to move and create a longevity for a career, and I think the longevity is understanding the brokenness is what God will use and not running from that.
And that's, I really have to say, that album, um, to me, is a legitimate album. It reminds me of the music that was written in the past because
Thank
it
you.
tells a story. Each song takes you to a different chapter. It's not just a bunch of songs that sound good. And I highly encourage people to listen to the entire album because the Breakthrough album tells a story. And that's why I wanted to use Breakthrough because I see it.
It's
You know, people say,
it's a title track. It's a title
yeah,
track. It's the title track of a lot of things going on, and yeah, I'm so honored that like the Lord allowed me to release all of those songs. And I had a lot of people questioning the like change of the genre and it like being the way it was. But the reality is that's just me, and I'm a little messy, and it's a little different, and it's a little creative. So you know, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. But I feel very fortunate that the Lord, out of all the people the Lord entrusted with these songs is me. And I feel that same way every time I get to do a Hawk Nelson cover or a cover of another band. Like I feel that. Like the Lord's entrusted me to steward that. And now I get videos of 7-year-old girls singing Everything You Ever Wanted, and they think it's my song, but it's not. And it just makes me think of me at that age singing the same exact song. So, well, I wasn't 7, but you know, it's you got to put things out there for anyone listening. You got to put things out there even when you're unsure. Like the whole reason it like I feel like it's working for me is because I don't let like anything hold me back from just doing it. Like just try it. It does not hurt. So that's why Lemonade worked. I was not going to do. I thought it was the dorkiest thing in the world, and it turned into like one of my most streamed songs now. So it's like you just gotta do it and just put it out there.
and I'm so glad that you are because
Thank you.
you're definitely making a difference. You're changing people's lives, subtle ways or obvious ways, but you're doing it. You answered the call, and Grace, it has been a great. It's been fun. I really thank you for taking the
Yeah,
time to
yeah,
talk to
absolutely.
us. And now we're gonna play Breakthrough, and I highly encourage everyone to listen to the album start to finish several times. Thank you so much, Grace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shame so strong, you're fighting your will to survive. Hope is gone. Yeah, I've been there too a few times. Broken with my heart bruised. Think God did something only God can do. He saved me like He'll save you. He will break through the pain and through the chaos. Break through the walls you built so high. If you need the proof, you're on His mind. Just look at my life. He will break through. me back into your heart. You're broken with your heart